Hey guys, what's up? Last week before winter break, I'm sure you guys are excited. I think this week's content should be pretty quick and painless. This is all a review from 7th grade, so hopefully you guys already know some of this, and I'm just reminding you. All right, so we're going to start with combining like terms, which again you guys did last year. So I want to show you guys some like terms here, and then some terms here that are not like. All right. So I've got a list here of like terms, right? So here we have 2a and a, right? So those both have a's, so they are like terms, right? We have 5 plus 7, right? We can combine those things, right? 5 plus 7 is 12. We have 2a, negative 2a, plus 3a. Okay, so the negative sign doesn't mean that it's not a like term. It doesn't matter what the sign is in front, just the letter that's with it. All right, we call that the variable. So since these both have the same variable, they're like terms. All right, so here we have x plus 3x. So these are like terms, right? They have the same variable, the same letter. We can combine x and 3x, right? This is 1x plus 3x. It makes 4x. We can combine those. And then here we have 4y plus negative 3y. Again, just because it's negative doesn't mean it's not a like term, right? Because it has the same variable, the same letter, it is a like term. So 4y plus negative 3y would be 1y. All right, so now over here on the other side, let's look at some terms that are not like, some things we cannot combine. Okay, so we have 2x plus 5. Okay, so this one has an x, this one does not. Those are not like terms, right? This one has a variable, this one does not. So they're not like terms. We cannot combine those, right? This is already simplified, right? 2x plus 3y. All right, now these both have variables, right? This one has an x, this one has a y, but they're not the same variable. So these are not like terms. We cannot combine this into 5xy or 5x or 5y, okay? This has to just be left as 2x plus 3y because they have different variables, okay? 4y minus negative 7, okay? Can't combine those like terms, right? We could simplify this to 4y plus 7, right? Because we have minus a negative here. So, double negative sign here makes it positive, right? So we can add positive 7 here, but we cannot combine those terms together, right? They are not like terms. All right, here's another example of not like terms. We have a 3x plus 2y minus 6. Right, so none of these are like terms, right? We have an x here, we have a y here, and we have a minus 6 with neither variable. All right, so we cannot combine those either. Last example here, you won't see this week, but I just want to show it to you. You're likely to see it later in the year when we work on exponents, or definitely next year in Algebra 1. All right, so if we have x squared plus 2x, these do have the same variable, but because this one has the exponent, we cannot combine these two together. All right, so let's look at some examples of some of the problems that you guys are going to see this week. We have two assignments in Khan Academy, and then you'll have one in Quizizz. All right, your quiz is actually going to be in Quizizz. All right, so it says combine the like terms to create an equivalent expression. All right, we call this an expression because it's just a number sentence without an equal sign, right? If it had an equal sign and something on the other side, we'd call it an equation. All right, so this is an expression. All we're gonna do here is just simplify it, right? Our new one's gonna be equivalent, but now it's gonna have fewer terms. All right, right now we have one term here, the negative 2k. All right, and then we have two like terms here, the minus negative 5 and the plus 1. All right, so we're going to combine this in the green to make one term out of the two that we already have. And then the one here in the blue is just going to stay the one term. All right, so the negative 2k isn't going to change. That's going to stay negative 2k. All right, now, and I talked about this part just a second ago, we have the minus negative 5 plus 1. Okay, so it's important if there's two signs in front of a number or in front of a term that we're looking at both of these, right? So minus negative 5, and I said this a second ago, but we have double signs here, right? We have minus a negative 5. This is going to make plus a positive 5, all right? So it's really important that you guys understand this, all right? The double signs here actually going to cancel it out. It's like a double negative, right? Double negatives don't work, right? I can't say that I'm not not going to the mall later, right? That would mean I am going to the mall later, all right? So a double negative cancels itself out, makes it positive. All right, so we have positive 5 plus 1, that makes positive 6. So we're adding 6 here, right? So this expression here, simplified, right, to make an equivalent expression, would be negative 2k plus 6. All right. Here, again, we have two different types of terms. So we have the negative 5r plus the 8r, right? Those both have r's. And then we have this one that's going to be all by itself, right? The plus 5. It does not have an r. I cannot combine it with those ones that do have r's. All right, so negative 5r plus 8r is going to be 3r, right? We have 3 more positives than we have negatives. 8 is 3 bigger than 5, so it's 3r plus 5. Right. Another one here. All right, now we've got some like terms that are kind of separated, but we have, this one has a t, right? So we have 8t, we have plus negative 4t, all right? And then we have what, plus 1, and we have plus negative 6, all right? So I always like to do the ones with the variables first, all right? That's how I was taught in school. So 8t plus negative 4t, that's just like 8t minus 4t. So we have 4 t's left, right? We subtracted 4 from the 8. Now we have 1 plus negative 6. So that's like 1 minus 6. So we had $1, we're taking away 6. We're subtracting 5 now. We have negative $5, same as minus 5. All right. See another example here. All right. And again, let's highlight our like terms. So we have a n here. We have a minus a negative in here, all right? And then on our numbers, we have plus negative 4, and we have plus 6, all right? So negative n, that means negative 1n, right? We've talked about that. There's not a number, it's a 1. So that's negative 1n minus negative 4, all right? So again, all right, remember, because it's 2 negative signs there, those are both going to turn into positive. All right, double negative makes a positive. So down here, negative n plus 4n, that's going to make 3n. And then I have negative 4, right, plus negative 4 plus 6. So that's going to be plus 2. All right. If you're struggling with this part at this point, I'd suggest just using a calculator. All right, for the numbers here. All right, you can just type in your calculator negative 4 plus 6. If you don't have a calculator you like, I'd suggest typing in Desmos Scientific and using that calculator. If we do end up doing K-Prep this year or next year on Chromebooks, that's the calculator you're going to need to be familiar with. All right, so check out the Desmos Scientific calculator, and that'll be good. When you're doing it with the variable terms, right, with the negative 1n plus 4n, I would just put in the negative 1 plus 4 and then add the n back on, right? So you do negative 1 plus 4, that would give you 3, and then you just need to remember that it was 3n, right, not just a 3, or else you might get yourself in a tricky spot there. All right, we've got a couple more here that we'll do real quickly. All right, so we have negative 4p plus 2p. We have plus negative 2 and plus 3. All right, so again, I want to start with the exponents. I'm going to do negative 4p plus 2p. That makes negative 2p, right? I have 2 more negatives than I have positives, and then I have negative 2 plus 3. All right, so that's going to be plus 1. All right, so negative 2p plus 1. All right, one more example problem here, and then we're going to get on to distributive property. So I have 3z plus negative 5z, and then I have 2 plus 6. All right, so 3z plus negative 5z makes negative 2z, and then plus 2 and plus 6 makes plus 8. All right, so negative 2z plus 8. All right. So this is the first Khan Academy assignment. Should be pretty straightforward. I think that's probably the easier one. The second one we have here is combining like terms. So again, combining like terms, but we're going to add distributive property into it. All right, so distributive property, again, is something that you guys should have worked on last year. What I see a lot of folks doing incorrectly is just doing the 5 times the first term inside the parentheses. All right, But what this actually means is 5 times 2x and 5 times the minus 4. All right. What this actually means is that we have 2x minus 4 plus 2x minus 4 plus 2x minus 4 5 times. Okay, we have 5 of these. Okay, so an easier way of writing it is just have the 5 in front of the 2x minus 4, right? As you can see, it takes a minute to get all of these in here. All right, I've only got 3 so far, but I need to add, right? So this is what it would really look like if I wrote it all out. We don't want to do that. All right, we like to simplify it here, just say that we have 5 2x minus 4s, right? But look, I have 5 of the 2x's, and I also have 5 of the minus 4s, all right? So it's really important that we multiply the term outside by both of these, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2x's, all right? So we can multiply, right? Or we can do the repeated addition, right? When you write it all like that, you can do the repeated addition. So this makes 10x, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 x's. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the minus 4s as well. So 5 times the negative 4 is minus 20. All right, that's the easy way. Or you can do minus 4, minus 8, minus 12, minus 16, minus 20. You could add it all up, right? You could do the repeated addition. Either way is fine, right? But I think you'll agree with me that the multiplication is the easier way, right? That's why we practice multiplication instead of always just, sticking with addition. All right, so then on this next one, and you'll see some stuff like this. It might be a little bit tricky. Remember when we were doing the sign in front of the number when we were combining like terms? So it's really important that if there's a sign in front of the number that we're multiplying by here, that we're including that. All right, so we're doing the negative 3 times the 4x and the negative 3 times the minus 12. All right, so down here then I have 3x, negative 3 times 4x is minus 12x, and negative 3 times minus 12 is going to be plus 36. All right, I'm treating this as a negative times a negative because it had a minus 12. So again, right, it's really important that when we're multiplying here, we're including the sign in front of the number. All right. Now, we're not done yet, right, because as we just did in the previous Khan Academy assignment, we can combine our like terms. All right, so hopefully you guys see that. We have a couple of like terms here. All right, we have 3x and minus 12x. All right, so I'm going to combine those together now. So 3x minus 12x is negative 9x, and then I have my plus 36. And then I would be finished, all right? These are not like terms. I cannot combine that. That's as simplified as I can make it, all right? All right, so these are going to be multiple choice as you're doing them on Khan Academy. It's going to say simplify to create an equivalent expression. All right, so again, we're going to do 7. Whoops, that's not the drawing tool I wanted. 7 times the 8r and 7 times the minus 2. Right, this time it's a positive 7 here, right? So we're doing positive 7 times 8r and positive 7 times the minus 2. Right, so first I'm just going to copy down the 5 I still have, plus 7 times the 8r is 56r, and 7 times the minus 2 is minus 14. All right, but I'm not finished. I have like terms, right? I have a 5 and I have a minus 14. So the 56r, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down. There's not anything else with r's. That part's good. All right, so I know it's either A, B, or D at this point, but I don't know if it's plus 3, plus 9, or minus 9. Okay, so 5 minus 14 would be minus 9. All right, so I know that the answer here would be D. All right. All right, now here's one that's a little more complex because we have to do distributive property twice. All right, so we're doing 6 times 7r, 6 times the minus 3y. Again, positive 6 times the y, and positive 6 times the 1. All right, so 6 times 7 is 42, minus 6 times the 3y is 18y. It's minus 18y, right, because there was a minus sign there. Okay, so you can treat it as 6 times negative 3y and make it negative 18y, but then it's minus 18y. Or you could even have plus negative 18y there if you wanted, right? Now 6 times the y is plus 6y, and 6 times the 1 is plus 6, right? So now let's combine our like terms, right? So let's highlight here our like terms. We have 42 and 6, right? Plus 6. And then we have the minus 18y and the plus 6y, right? All right, so again, I like to do the y's first. So I have negative 12y plus 48. Negative 12y plus 48. So there it is, C. All right, nice. All right, so here is our next one. Looks like this time we just have to do distributive property once. We have a plus 2 here. Oops, let me tap my pen. We have a plus 2 here. So we're going to multiply that times the negative 2n and times the minus 1. All right, so first of all, right, I still have the 3n. Don't forget about the 3n. Now the plus 2 times the minus 2n. All right, so positive 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So I'm going to put minus 4 in. And then 2 times the minus 1 is going to be minus 2. I'm not finished yet because I have like terms, right? 3n minus 4n, that's negative n. And I have the minus 2, right? So negative n minus 2, C. All right. A couple more example problems here. We're doing 8 times 10. 8 times the negative 6q. We have a positive 3 here times the negative 7q, and a positive 3 times the minus 2. All right, so first 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times the minus 6q is going to be minus 48q. Positive 3 times negative 7q is going to be minus 21q. And positive 3 times minus 2 is going to be minus 6. So again, we're going to combine our like terms. Let's highlight those in case some of us are still struggling with seeing the like terms. We have 80, and we have a minus 6, and then we have minus 48q and minus 21q. All right, so again, variables first. Negative 48q minus 21q would be negative 69q. And then 80 minus 6 would be positive 74 or plus 74, right? So negative 69q plus 74 right here, C, right? All right, last one here for us to do together this week. Negative 4 times z, negative 4 times 3, also negative 4 times 5, and negative 4 times the minus 4z. Right, so negative 4 times z is negative 4 z. Remember, when there's not a number in front of the z, it's a 1z. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then we still have the z. Negative 4 times positive 3 is minus 12. Negative 4 times 5 is minus 20. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16z. Right, so now let's combine our like terms. Wait, what like terms? What are those? All right, so negative 4z here, positive 16z here, negative 12 here, minus 20 here. All right, so we got our like terms. So 16z minus 4z, or you could do negative 4z plus 16z. I like to think of it maybe easier if we do the positive first. So 16z minus 4z, right? We know 16 minus 4 is 12, so 12z. And we have minus 12 and minus 20, right? So if I owe someone $12, I owe someone else $20, I owe $32 total, so that's minus 32. All right, so easy enough there. 12z minus 32, got it. All right, so hopefully this helped you with both your Khan Academy assignments. There's also the quiz on Quizizz, so make sure that you complete all 3 assignments for this week, right? And of course, come to office hours, use FEV Tutor. If you have any questions, But I definitely suggest asking now if we can help during class, or obviously come to office hours or use the tutoring service that's free. All right, guys, have a great week. Have a great break. Enjoy your time off school, and again, reach out if we can help you at all.